like, you think about just like,
Come on, it's like a slumber party. Isn't it fun?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
So anyway, they're doing this election bill now, SB189. So we're gonna just keep listening to what she's got to say. And she was at the Women in Agriculture event. Like, she seems to,
They might be misunderstanding, like different hemp bills and stuff, and it just depends on what they believe. I'm just like, because it was this one rep who was talking about eating too many gummies or whatever.
right, yeah.
But the thing is, you were eating gummies, and the problem is not that you were eating gummies. The problem is that you didn't understand. You didn't understand about eating the gummies.
And
You didn't.
so you ate them all.
So yeah, I mean, hey, you did it wrong. Sorry, this is how you do it. At least that's why we need more education measures, put into play instead of trying to take things away. Add education to take it out to gas stations.
What happened to the Hemp Education Day bill that the resolution we were listening? Okay, let's give her a chance. Let's see how she closes this argument. I'm just frustrated because she's like, everyone wants this bill, and I'm like, what?
But I just wanted to make that distinction for some of my colleagues that may be newer to the conversation, is that hemp has thousands of uses. They used to make dollar bills and everything else. This is just around consumable hemp with the products that are being shared. And speaking to people in the industry, most of them are seeking guardrails. To my other colleagues' point, the fee structure and the penalty structure that is laid out in here, you said the first time is what, $500 until we self-correct or whatever.
Okay.
Does anything go beyond that? Or you said someone 18 can be hired in a store to sell, but anyone caught selling to anyone under the age of 21 is a misdemeanor, correct?
It's a misdemeanor, yes, ma'am. And right now in Georgia, misdemeanor is 12 months and $1,000. And in Georgia, 12 months is not a year. A year is a felony. 12 months is a misdemeanor. And to your point on the hemp thing, you're absolutely right. It's the same plant, and basically to make the determination is how it's grown, the THC, if they're moving the females and the males together. I have a very comfortable pair of hemp socks that I was given in Denver when I went and looked at the industry there. So there are good actors.
Mm-hmm.
The focus of this legislation right here is not to harm the good actors, but it is to prevent the bad actors from coming in and attacking our state with a subprime product.
Correct. And if
Yes,
I may,
ma'am.
just one other thing, it's almost gender specific with the plant. The distinction that you just made is
No, see,
it's complex, but it could be viewed that way.
The female is a very dangerous plant.
oh my god.
Oh my God. Oh,
The female cannabis plant is an extremely dangerous plant because it makes a.
Oh my God. Is that Harry Anslinger reincarnated?
I'm going to use the word diverse.
Yeah, well, the male and the female plants, as you move them together, determine the THC levels as during the growth cycle.
I concur.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just wanted to point out that this bill specifically speaks to levels that are 0.03 or below, which are not psychotropic.
Some studies say yes, and some studies are still
On the low end of what would be considered a
ma'am. Oh my
psychotropic.
God.
Yes, ma'am.
Psychedelic. Okay,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Representative Martinez.
I don't know if we would have been able to handle.
Thank you, Senator, for your passion on this issue. On line 253, 254, when it says about the signage, how are we going to distribute that? How does that work to let the business know, as far as the signage and posting and all that?
Well, of course, with the department, they regulate all the signage on fuel pumps and everything else associated with these primaries. All the other departments, whether it's DOR, same way we did during COVID, regulating the signage, you'd be the responsibility of the department who's responsible for this to get that information out to the business owner. Yes, sir.
Representative Cox.
Thanks, Mr. Whip. So I believe in the previous bill, the manufacturer's annual fee is $5,000. I think that's what it read. So we have a full panel, a certificate of analysis lab, which I guess is ISO approved, right? That's the standard. So my question would be, it reads in lines 144 and 145. It's kind of where I'd like to hit. No consumable hemp product shall be sold or otherwise distributed in this state unless the manufacturer, who's paying an annual fee of $5,000, has within the last 12 months contracted a full panel certificate. So it's the manufacturer that's hiring the lab, contracting that piece, third party. There may be a place that chairman that has now left where we could say contracted and paid for, because the question was who's paying for this. And as I read it, I don't think is contracted put us as also responsible as the manufacturer is the one that's paying for this testing annually. And how many manufacturers do we have? And you said only one that's going to be testing.
The only independent lab that we're aware of, that I'm aware of right now, is a singular lab. Yes, sir. That actually, oddly enough, the department uses for some of their stuff, but other businesses use most.
Will a sticker say ISO approved? Like UL says UL approved or ETL
It
approved?
will not, because the only products that can be sold in the state have to already be, they have to have the COA, right? And then we have to recognize the lab that they use. And for us to recognize the lab, they have to already have the ISO accreditation. We're probably going to ask if they have DEA certification, their accreditation. We're also going to look for.
Okay, well, that's good that if they're allowing us to use other labs, because that was monopolized.
I know Joe Mack has a breakdown of all the labs and stuff. Yeah, he's a great source of information too.
Can you drop his link in the comments? All right. Well,
let me find his link. Yeah, but they need to follow Joe too.
Totally.
We're tightening there, right? And so, am I answering your question, or am I getting off topic here?
All the labs
Okay.
will be registered with the Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
Georgia Department of Agriculture.
Mm-hmm. And then the manufacturer, who could also be a processor that gets to the, when they've created the consumable product before it goes to a wholesaler to be available for sale, before that product can be moved, it has to have been tested already. And it is illegal for, or it will be, for a wholesaler to accept and move those, because they won't be approved by the state.
Okay. So the only comment I had was and paid for would be some language if that's not clear, but that was just an idea.
I don't know, and for discussion, I don't know of any lab that would test it without being paid, and because they're not affiliated with the manufacturer, then they would, of course, use their.
This sounds very confusing to me.
There would have to be some sort of contract agreement between the manufacturer and the lab.
So contract would equal
Right.
agreement and paid for.
They would pay the lab for the test.
I just for clarity, that's all I was asking.
I think for clarity of conversation, it's a good point. I'm not sure that if we added, and I don't know that it's necessary that we actually put it in code, because it actually may complicate interpretation later, or we may create a loophole that we don't intend to.
Thank you.
And we want to be able to, other labs that may want to come here and establish themselves in Georgia and get in this business, to be able to get in business and take advantage of it.
All right. Thank you. Okay, got one more question, Chairman Meeks.
Chairman, thank you. The whip has already pointed out that Pierce County had a situation recently which the Department of Agriculture was involved in, and we certainly need to keep that in mind, as the Department of Ag may be the first line of defense out there, because a lot of these may be being sold as a food processing facility, and lo and behold, it was north of $22 million in marijuana. So thank you for that. And Mr. Chairman, at the appropriate time, I move to pass.
Okay, we got, just hold on just a minute. The gentleman in the audience, y'all have already been to the mic with comments on the previous bill. Are y'all good? If you could keep it brief, I'd entertain anything specific to this bill.
Last time.
Thank you.
Greg Reduca with Georgia. Absolutely, yes, sir.
Taylor,
Thank you for the
yeah.
opportunity, Mr. Chairman. Taylor Hawkins with Frontline Policy Council. We don't usually get involved in stuff like this, but we admire the work of Whip Robertson in the Senate. We think that this is a very necessary step in the right direction. We do have the pledge of some members of the legislature that we will continue working on this issue, but we also have the knowledge that this is a very necessary step in the right direction, and appreciate the work of the Department of Agriculture Commissioner and his folks to take action.
Here's Senate Bill 60 that
Bill for us to consider this morning.
All right.
The author.
They did not amend the price. So you're saying it was between the Senate, like they just did it off?
It must have been. I don't know if they presented a substitute for the first hearing when it came over to the Senate, because right here, this is the House. So, so wait a minute. No, this is the. So wait a minute. This is still the ag. I don't know, because I know when I read the bill, I saw in there from $500 to $2,000. This is $494, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I could bring that up for you. I mean,
Yeah, because it was $494. I don't know where they actually changed or amended it, or when did they? Because I know I have a copy of each bill version, so I just don't know which one. I don't have my computer up now, but I know that I do have multiple versions of that particular bill, so I just know when it came over to, wait a minute, that's SB494. Yeah, when it came over to the House, it was gone. It was gone.
Okay, so look. Oh wait, this isn't. I don't think this is it.
Because it crossed over, so it must have reverted back. I don't know where it reverted back, because when it came over to the House, and that's when I saw that they changed it from
there it
the
is.
20,000. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I can put this in the comments. So.
Yeah, because I remember seeing where it went from 300,000, the bonding, to 20,000, and also it went from 20,000 back to 50,000, and then the processing fee was 500 to 2,000. If you go back to the conversation when he was asking, so it's not a one size fit all.
Can you read that?
Read what?
I have it up there.
Yeah, I see. Okay, I see it. Yeah, because the 500. Yeah, because it was 25,000. So I guess they said, okay, we'll drop it down to 10,000. So yeah, I remember that. But also the other bonding part was 300,000. Then this is the same one where it drops down to 20,000. But then the latest current bill is 50,000 bond.
And I don't see anything about the misdemeanor thing in the other bill either. See how it's right before it on 201 and 200? See, on the other bill, I'll pull the other one up too.
Because I know that they're probably going to try and take some of the language from 1322 and add it to some of these bills, the same bill that was tabled.
Yeah.
Because that was crazy, because they wanted to actually change from a lot of these CBD stores calling themselves dispensaries, so that they couldn't call themselves a dispensary. And as far as advertising, they wanted to stop that, I guess, because like the medical cannabis licensees, they can't really advertise according to the law. So they have to go pretty much by word of mouth.
So yes, so when you pull the current version, okay, so that now I just pulled up the current version. I don't see anything about the misdemeanor thing at all. It's just
I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't see any of that stuff.
it's like, us, are we here? If I do, oh, now it's really big.
No, don't worry about. No, it's my eyes. It's my eyes. Yeah, yeah, it's my eyes. I gotta rest them.
Totally cool. Yeah, let's rest all of our eyes. But